Hello, this is Nathan and Victor's back with another video. Today we're going to be switching it up just a little bit. Today we're going to talk about the American Revolution. What led up to it today, and how it started near it. So back before the American Revolution, there was a war called the 7 Years' War, or the French and Indian War. It was a war which Britain, France and Indians fought. France and the Indians were friends. Well, they had some friends, and Britain had some native friends as well. They took Canada and they made France go out of North America. And after that, they were broke. France and Britain were broke. So Britain decided to make the choice to tax the American colonies that they defended. They said at least since they defended them and gave them more land, they should pay. Now this did sound fair, but in the end, the American colonists said it was pretty unfair because they didn't really ask for it, and they weren't being treated as proper Englishmen. Now, in about 1773, I believe, something around it, a few people started protesting in Boston, Massachusetts. And British soldiers kept coming, and more riders kept coming. And then out of nowhere, someone accidentally fired, and the rest of the British line fired. A lot of objects were thrown at the British. The British instead accidentally fired and killed 5 American colonists. And after this, in 1773, some American patriots, the Sons of Liberty, they decided they were going to, Boston was closed completely because of how they acted with the Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party was actually when the Sons of Liberty dressed up as Native Americans, and they got on a British ship that had pounds and pounds of tea, hundreds of pounds, and they all dumped it in the water. Britain punished the people of Boston and put them under the direct rule and got rid of their old rights, which was a very big effect. But now, in 1775, a meeting was called, and 12 delegates from all very powerful men from all other colonist states met up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they were outraged how Boston was treated. Lots of states, they sent Boston sheep and food and cows so they could survive and have plenty of stuff. And this kind of made the British mad. And soon they met up, so in case this happened to them, they know how to act. And then in 1775, they said around next year, in 1776, if the British do not stop being, let's just say, mean and unfair, we're going to meet up here again. Now, there's a very important thing. So, during this, about 1775 or 1776, I'm not that really good, but I'm good at history at school. But in 1775-76, in Boston, they were starting to train people called Minutemen. They could be ready in a minute's notice. That's why they called Minutemen. this was like the beginning of the American, let's say, Army, U.S. Army. I ain't going to cover that much today, but I know this video is kind of short, but I'm trying to cover a lot. When 1776 came along, I also forgot to mention one thing. There was a Stamp Act that it put a tax on everything. And after Americans revolted and a lot of stuff, some other stuff, they got rid of it. But they kept a tax on tea. The Stamp Act, it was just like a pence. You had to pay extra. It was basically like tax. It was a tax, as you know. They said it was the worst tax, I think. But after that, they got rid of it in about 1774, 64. I don't remember that much, but I'm trying my best right here. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So about the Minutemen. Excuse me. About the Minutemen. That can be very immense. No, this started the boundaries for the, foundations for the U.S. Army right now. So they started making gunpowder and gun storage, and they took it to Concord. It was a city out of Boston, and in between it was Concord. There was Concord, Lexington, and Boston. Now, the British caught wind that the Minutemen were storing gunpowder there, so they decided to go and get it. Excuse me. And there was a man named Paul Revere. He had a friend in Boston. He sent him to the old Turk's Tower, and he told him to take 2 lanterns. One by land, 2 by sea. And then he rode to the other side of Boston. Now he was pacing a lot. And then finally he looked up, and there was a lantern. He kept looking, and then he was about to ride off, but he looked again, and he saw a second one. So he paced quickly. He went to Lexington, told the Minutemen to hurry up, and then went to Concord. They say he was captured. I don't know, because I can't remember that much. I'm trying my best to get down here. I at least want a 10-minute video. But then, after that, they had a fight in Lexington. The Minutemen versus the British Army. It was not sure who shot the first shot, but it was a very, very quote that everyone keeps saying today. The shot heard around the world sparked the beginning of a revolution. Now that bullet, whoever shot it sparked a revolution that caused the nation right now to be very red. I'm not going to cover much today. But anyway, I'm going to get to at least the Second Continental Congress and their decision. So after that, the Minutemen, they pushed the British Army into Boston and surrounded them. In the Second Continental Congress happened, after the British did not stop, they sent a letter to King George III. He didn't really respond. He responded saying, let's just say, he didn't really. He was upset. And if I was in his spot, I'd kind of be upset. I'd be very upset. Anyway, so George Washington was selected during the Continental Congress. They selected George Washington to be their commander-in-chief of the American formed Continental Army. Now, I need to mention some very important names in this Continental Congress. There was Thomas Jefferson from Virginia. There was John Adams from Massachusetts. Benjamin Franklin from Philadelphia. There was a lot of other people, but I can't really go into detail with them. But these are very nice people. There was also Alex Hamilton, I think, from New York. But George Washington was also a part of it. But then they wanted to send him, the president was John Hancock. He, let's just say, he was like the leader of the Continental Congress. Anyway, they sent George Washington up to Boston. And early before, there was this man named Benedict Arnold, who would later become a traitor of the American Army. I'll get into that in the next video, but that's all I'm going to reveal for now. He was going to this fort named Fort Ticonderoga. It was a fort in now Vermont. And he met up with these guys named by some Alex guy. And they were them Green Mountain Boys. And they had a heated debate. The Green Mountain Boys were also going to Fort Ticonderoga to get to take it over as well and gift it to the American Army. They had a very big fuss, and then the Green Mountain Boys threatened to go home, and then Arnold just said, "Okay, fine, you can command." And they raided. And in a book I read, it said that the leader went up there, knocked on the door of the commander's home. He knocked on it, and he said, the commander came out with his wife, and he said, "In the name of Jehovah and the Second Continental Congress, I order you to surrender this fort." And he did. Now, they held a lot of guns and ammo. And during this time, everyone was starting to everyone started to say they wanted independence in Congress. A lot of people thought maybe they could send a letter and just say, "Can you stop?" But King George kept saying no. And then after that, they took the guns over to, when George Washington was stuck, Boston, they had a lot of people. And they couldn't really go in there. They encircled them. There was little skirmishes coming. But they needed Boston. They needed the British Army out of America. So, there was this general named General Knox. He got oxen and drove some cannons from Fort Ticonderoga and took them near a hill in Boston called Gloucester Heights. George Washington set up the guns in the night, and in the morning, the British saw them, and they got on their ships and left. And then the Americans entered, and the Continental Army entered and claimed it as a victory. And then the Continental Congress decided to do independence. John Adams said it was going to go down on July 2nd, but it actually came down on July 4th. The Declaration of Independence was signed July 4th, and America was born. They got a statue of King George III and noted him down to, I think it's 40,000 or 4,000 musket balls. The British was enraged. I'm going to stop right here. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and go join my Discord. Just ping Nathan Invictus hashtag 4255. That's Nathan Nathan Invictus INVICTUS hashtag 4255. Thanks for watching this video. Be back with another video soon. Goodbye. Make sure to subscribe and like. Leave a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. Goodbye.